Yeah, good morning, everyone. So today we have Rishab with us. Hello, Rishab.
Hey, hi, Tia.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Rishab.
Good
So
morning.
Rishab will be sharing his journey. So first of all, Rishab, congratulations on your achievement. So Rishab is currently working as head of data analytics at HT Media Group, right?
Yeah.
So yes, Rishab, please take us through your journey from being a student at DataMites and successfully working.
Okay. Thanks, Tia, for the introduction. Um, so I joined, I think, DataMites in the year of 2018-19. So where I take a data science program. So while I was working with a company named Quicker, it's in Bangalore only. So I was working as an analytics professional over there as an analytics manager. So the objective was to upskill myself in the machine learning arena. And then where I was just looking for some different courses which are available in the Bangalore city because I was looking for a physical classes. I want to do a physical classes, and I have only a weekend for that. So I think data might that time gives an opportunity that you can come for a physical classes on a weekends, right? And the best part is was a hands-on training because what is required to get on that curve of machine learning. So there I got to introduce about data mites and pursue that course, and actually it has helped me because it helps me because I was doing analytics. I was always doing it, right? Because it's been over a decade now. I'm into the analytics, right? And while working with Quaker also, but there is one thing which is missing is the data science projects. I was not able to take it up the data science projects in my company because I was not familiar with the machine learning techniques, unsupervised machine learning, and all that stuff. So that actually helps me to get over that curve, and some practical training really helps me. Then again, in the company, I could able to take up projects. That was really helpful that time.
Okay, wonderful. So it was around 5 to 6 years, more
Yeah, so
than
almost
that,
six,
right?
7, yeah,
Around
almost 7 years. Yeah,
pre-corona era, we can say that.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wonderful. All right. So, you said you were working that time and you were into the analytics, but were you having any knowledge of programming before you even joined Rishabh? Because CDS data science means we first learn about programming Python. So, were you having any exposure to that before?
I have exposure mainly to the SQL language and the MongoDB, right? So I have a very little knowledge on the Python. Do I have done some courses, but the hands-on thing was missing. I think that's the only thing where I was looking for some courses where I can do actually do a physical classes over there, and the mentor can help me to do that too. Because there's a fear in that, no? So I just want to get over that fear. So that helps me with the data mines.
Great, great, great. So, Python, then you understood about machine learning. So that was the major thing where because of which you had enrolled for the data science role, right? So, how was the experience learning machine learning for you, Rishabh?
Yeah, it was good. As I've said, na, because I was very new to the ML techniques, right? So I've heard about it, I've read about it, I have tried also, but that hands-on thing na, was missing. So that's something when you get on the classes, you have a people around you, then it becomes you get the atmosphere. You actually learn that, right? Actually learn and thrive. So that's I feel that these online people help, but for me, it's a offline which actually works for me because it takes out that fear out of me that Python is something which is difficult to learn or the machine learning techniques. But after that, it's only practice what the mentor also always recommended that you pick up the projects in your company, then only to be able to get over that curve, what you really want to learn. So that's a stepping stone that's helping.
Correct, 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 Rishabh. So, during that time, you said you were taking, you could say offline physical batches, correct? So, what was your study pattern, or how you used to manage your work along with the study of data science which you had started?
So fortunately, I was into the analytics field, right? So I have a lot of data with me. So whatever I was learning, I was able to apply also. So I think that's the best part. Normally, people don't get that opportunity, right? Either they go for internship or something, but I have this opportunity where I actually applied what I have learned in the classes. So that helps me a lot, I think, because I think by doing only you can learn it. only by reading books or something may not be very helpful, as per my understanding.
Correct, correct. So practical, when you do the hands-on, that time only that thing, whatever you are learning, that comes into right picture. You understand it very well. Correct, correct, Rishabh. All right. So then, once you have completed your learning period, okay, the projects were given to you, the internship we could say regarding that. So, how many projects you did, and what kind of projects you did during that time?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a 6, 7 years. I have done a couple capsule projects also over there. Because see, my main focus was that whatever I'm learning at DataMites, na, I should be able to apply to the real problem what I'm facing in my company. So, for example, when I was working for a lead scoring model, right? So how accurately I can predict that this lead is going to be the most useful lead for my business, right? So there I actually applied because then you get to know that no, what are the real problems, right? In the project, you know that what are going to happen and what is not going to happen. But in the real life problem, you break your head, you go back, come back. So that's where you actually learn.
Correct, correct, correct. So the projects were you said were very helpful in understanding about the concepts well. Correct. So apart from that, then you continued the job at your previous organization. Then you applied for might be this for different organizations. So did you had any opportunity to answer any kind of ML questions or the questions, the topics which you have learned over here at DataMind? Were you having any opportunity to answer such kind of questions?
Certain, matlab, earlier people, if you ask me that na, about the ML, so I may get clung, right? But once you get to know about that and you once you start applying that, and then because you relate that problem to the real life problem, right? Then you're able to answer those questions. So it actually, see, today I'm sitting at the head of analytics in the company. So this is something which I have learned and have applied. That's the reason I think I've been able to make it through.
Correct, correct, Rishabh. So, can you tell me about some of the interview questions which you feel are very important for data science, and what kind of questions were asked during your time, if you can recollect?
Right. So major question was that ki, okay, if you say that ki, I know the machine learning, so people will not take at the face value, honestly speaking. They'll ask you, okay, what kind of a problem you have solved for the company, right? What are the and not only the problem you have solved, what kind of challenges you have faced in the data while doing the transformation, while doing the feature engineering, and now the expectation is a sky, I think, touching sky almost because they don't expect you to only to analyze the data. They also expect you to okay, if I have the source of data, how you will set up the data pipelines for me, how you will ensure that the data accuracy is there, how you will ensure that there is a consistency in the data. So you have to learn not only about the front end, but you also have to learn about the back end also, right? So then you have to explain it, okay, what all technology you have used for it, and then by using that, what all challenges you have faced. So I think in the interview, the interviewer normally is more interested in that what complex problem you have solved in the real life, right? If you're able to correlate with that, and if you touch the chord, right? Because interviewer also want to why he's hiring you. He's hiring you to solve his problem, right? So you have to actually tell him, okay, how can you solve this problem? So that is what you want to learn from that experience and all. So, but yeah, so when you learn something, you apply it, you can actually able to answer it, and it will gradually your advancement goes up, right? It doesn't happen overnight, honestly speaking. It takes years also sometimes because as you do, you get to know about more of the problems, real life world problems, and you solve it. You come up with. You also fail sometimes. People also want to learn that okay, you may have failed also. Then why what makes you failed over there? Then what you did? So these are the questions they keep asking you. They keep grilling you on that question, see how you have solved it. And if not solved, then what are the challenges you face it? So simply, but they don't ask you, okay, what tell me that, okay, what is the machine learning, right? They're not going to ask you. But depending upon maybe if you're entering as an very management training kind of thing, so depending upon that years of experience you bring on the table. Um, but if you come with the experience, they're going to ask you a very tough question. That is the what I have seen in the past interviews and I've learned it.
Correct, absolutely correct, Rishabh. And that's a very wonderful advice we have given. And we learn with experience and practice projects all those things are very important because that gives you exposure to different kinds of problems. That is very important. So any suggestion you want to give for the freshers which they need to try out, because freshers will be having a lot of questions in their mind. So how they have to right go ahead with the interviews and preparation specifically.
So here, right now I'm taking interviews also, so I can tell you from the practical thing that people who writes very lucrative resume, right? That they know this thing, this thing. So maybe they will crack that, right? That HR will give you the call. But trust me, you will not able to pass even a first round if you have not applied it. Okay. So I'll tell you my experience that when I hire any intern or even a full-time employee, I have make a rule that I will not only go with the resume. I don't take for the degrees and all. I'll ask them, okay, I'll give a problem statement to them, use cases to them, solve it, come back to me. Because nowadays you can use chat GPT, everything solve it. But I want to understand your approach. And once you solve it, then also you're not through. Then you have to do a practically technical rounds for it. So again, my point is that whatever you write on the resume, please be very sure about the every point you write on it. You should have a deep understanding of that point because there's a tough competitions. People will not hire you like that. There are hundreds of people who are lining up for it, and so maybe you will say that, yeah, I know that this much part. Just say that, yeah, okay, and you just go into deeper and deeper, whatever the maximum depth you can go for it. That's the most important. And the approach, your attitude also makes a lot of difference on it.
Wonderful, wonderful advice by Rishabh. So now you're working as a head of analytics at HD Media Group. So tell us what kind of your day-to-day job is like, and what kind of tools you are using in your organization for analytics.
So now it's a complete infrastructure. I think it's not being pertaining to only the Python or the BI tool. It's starting from the data where I'm getting the data. So there are different sources of data where I'm getting it. And then you have to ensure that what DB you are using for that. Maybe you are using Azure or AWS. So in our company, we use the AWS for it, right? And then you need some processing engine to, once you get the data, then you have to process that data. You do have to analyze the data, right? So you have to set up your ETL pipelines for it that you get the data consistently, accurately, right? Then once you get the data, then you analyze the data and you have to share with us your stakeholders. Then you have to visualize the data, which is more important, right? Once you visualize the data, then also your job is not over. Then the questions come from the stakeholder, why it happens like this, why it is going up and down, right? How can we take it on the North Star, right? So these are the things. Then comes a real play where you have to do the deeper analysis on it. Then you have to apply your all statistics and whatever you have learned on the regressions and everything to understand, okay, how I can dissect my problem statement, how I can, so maybe it's a problem where you just have to simply do the regression of the problem to answer the question. And there could be question that where people will say, okay, right now my business is doing this. If I have to reach at that level, what all levers I need to pull off, right, to get there. So now what you will use it? Okay, there are certain things. There's historical data with you, but now you have to mix and match it with the predictive modeling also to understand. Okay, if these are the constraints for me, and these are the things which I have been as a lever for my business, then where I can reach for it. So it's not a one-way solution I can give, but there are different problems which comes your way, and I can assure you that you will get 100 different types of problem you may not have learned in your school's college, but that's the on-job learning also. You will learn with your peers and everyone, right? You have experienced people also in the company that helps you to get that direction. But your fundamentals, your foundation has to be strong to pick up that problem because if you understand the problem now, your half of the things are solved, right? Then is the approach, how you approach that problem.
Correct, absolutely correct, Rishabh. Okay, so what is that important skill which you need, which you want the freshers should focus on? You said data visualization is important, then understanding the problem statement is also important. But apart from that, what skill they need to, right, focus more on?
I would say that the familiarity with the tools right now, right? Whether it be the Python, be the SQL, be it your Azure or GCP, you have to be familiar with it, right? And familiarity, when I mean that, it is not only that. See, so I don't speaking, I don't expect too much from my freshers, right? But they should have at least a basic understanding of it, so that when the problem statement comes, they can actually understand the problem, right? Just be not on jumping the guns on it, how to solve it, but to approach with a pre-open mind and how can I dissect this problem statement. For that, you need a tools, right? You have to be good at the statistics, very good at the statistics, because if you can't dissect my problem, you will not be able to solve it. So basic fundamentals have to be right. People, when I interview people, I normally face that I know Python, I know machine learning. When I okay, if I have to ask a very simple question, what is the categorical and continuous data, right? You should know it. You cannot say that, oh, ये तो वो तो machine learning खुद कर लेगा. Doesn't happen like that, right? You have to have that foundation very strong to approve that problem. So that is the thing which I look for always.
Absolutely true. Foundation should be clear. Without your foundation, you cannot jump to the machine learning directly. So that's really important. Correct,
Right.
Rishabh. So we have some questions from our attendees. Attendees, please use your comment section or Q&A section to drop question to Rishabh. So there is a question. So he wants to know how we should apply as a fresher for data analyst job. I'm applying to many companies on LinkedIn but not getting any reply. Any strategy I can follow? Your guidance will be helpful.
So I would say that, see, LinkedIn is one thing, but referral works honestly the best in this. The hardest part of it, but it's a true, right? And second is that if you are associated with that data mites eliminate kind of thing, right? I think you should network with them, right? The people who have already passed somewhere must have reached somewhere in the life. They can help you to at least get the internship first, right? If you are a very at a basic level, you have not done anything in the data analysis before. But if you have some experience, then all the job portals are there. But keep it a simple rule. I would say this: just be keep open yourself. Don't restrict yourself. Ki, I want to do this only. Okay, data analysis is a very vast field. It can be in the operations. It can be in the marketing. It could be in the product. It could be in the finance. It could be anywhere, right? So just be open up, and I think that's the only way out to get the secure a good job in the industry right now.
Correct, important. References and networks, right? Building network and specifically the experience. For fresher, internship and projects are very, very important. Correct. Yes,
Correct.
very good, Rishabh. Correct. We have one more question. Is it possible for a person to get a chance to start their career as analyst at the age of 35 if they want to do the career transition? As you are the head of analytics, I would like to hear from you. Your inputs are much needed. Yeah.
If you are 35, right, and you want to start as a data analyst, I would suggest if you are working somewhere, figure out some project in that company itself, because that's gonna be helpful to you. Because if you start as a outside that company as a data analyst, I fear people will not take your past experience into consideration. They'll take you as a fresher, which may not be very motivating for you. But if you're working somewhere, pick up projects over there, align yourself with a team which work on the data analysis. That's gonna be really helpful for you.
Okay. So we have one more question from Roshan. What are the must-have technical skills for someone starting a career in data field?
So for technical sales, I'll say that three things very important. I think one is that you should be very good with the SQL, right? Because before even Python, you should be good with the SQL, because that's gonna be base for you. Then the Python, and pick up any good visualization tool. So I would say that Looker is a free tool kind of thing. You can pick it up. You don't have to pay for it. Power BI is another. Tableau is there, but Tableau is one of the expensive ones. So I don't know how many companies normally take the Tableau also. But these are the two tools if you do it now. So then you can actually not only analyze your data, you can do a predictive modeling, but you can also visualize your data, which is very important. Because at the end of the day, if you are able to communicate your story with the visualization, that is the best way. There is no other way for it.
Okay, so we have questions coming from YouTube here. From where you started your analytical journey and what was your job? Any advice for career transition people follow?
So I would say that Yeah, so my journey is a little more interesting because I started as a consultant with a top-notch real estate consultants, right? I was into the valuation and the feasibility study. I think within the first 2 years, I got an opportunity to work with the dot-com industry, where my transitions happened from a valuation and a feasibility consultant to a researcher, and then from the researcher, I get into the because I was in the part of dot-com, I get into the analytics, and I think from there my journey started. I just get into more deeper into a dot-com industry and the e-commerce, if you call it, right? So that's the way I think I also transform it because I am a master's in finance, right? So I have not been trained into I'm not an engineer from the background, right? So my transition was on the job majorly, right? And I've learned over the job thing. I pick up the projects, executed, some fail, some pass, but that's how I have transited to my analytics field.
Wonderful journey indeed. So, person from finance has done so much transition, and meanwhile, he learned about machine learning and data science also. Wonderful, wonderful, Rishabh. Okay, so we have a question from Meghana from YouTube. Is data science enough to work in any AI domain? That's her question.
It's a base, I would not say. It's not enough, it's a base for you. Right? You should know that because if you don't know the basic of machine learning, you will not able to learn the AI. That's very important.
Correct, correct. Okay, so we don't have any. Okay, we have one more question from Sachin from YouTube. It's career gap easy or hard for learning?
It's not hard, I would say that. You can see it's all about your passion. If you have a passion about data, na, go for it. Matlab, you don't think on that it's a gap or something. You will go where you want to really want to reach. If you're really passionate about it, you focus about it. Don't think too much on this.
All right. Fine. So, team, do we have any more questions for Rishabh from any platform? Please let us know. Yeah. So, Rishabh, where are you working currently, in Bangalore or anywhere else in
I'm in
India?
Delhi right now. I'm working in
Delhi.
Delhi. Delhi.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we don't have any more questions. So it was a wonderful session, I should say, Rishabh, and everyone got a lot of information from you. And your journey is really inspiring, I must say. And definitely, whatever insights you have shared, that will help others as well. So thank you for your time. You took out some time and shared your information and insights with us. Thank you so much, and
Thank
best
you so much.
for your
Thank
further.
you. Thank you for calling me. Thank you. Thanks.